Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And that last point is key. Because what we're going to talk about tonight, you are going to need to watch this whole presentation, and you're going to need to send this to anyone that you think would be applicable. Because Target and Bud Light have just unleashed a torrent unlike the left could possibly imagine against a woke agenda across the board. This is just getting started, and imagine if the same furor was going directly for Second Amendment rights. That's what we're going to talk about, and this presentation is going to show you something on a broad scale, which I think is powerful. Now, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We need many people as we can in this freedom train to pass it on, and thank you so much in advance for checking that out. But now there's a few things that we need to say as we get into this, because I'm about to show you something that was a very famous quote from history. First, they're going to ignore you, then they're going to mock you, then they're going to fight you, and then you win. I'm going to put all of that in context of what's happening with Bud Light and with Target and every other corporation that is getting insanely woke bent across the board. Then I'm going to show you how they're reacting. Now, as we go forward, understand, the left always has to have the corporations. They've lost Congress. They've lost the judicial. The executive branch is exhausted with what they can do through the Constitution's constraints. They have to have the corporations. They lose the corporations, it's everything. It's the whole ball of wax. It's the only center of power they've invested in. That's why you're seeing this reaction. Again, the Second American Tea Party has historical roots because there was a culture shift back when the original Tea Party happened. The people were frustrated with taxation without representation, and across the board through multiple taxes in multiple years and multiple abuses from a tyrannical king across a sea, they rebelled culturally, and then you saw a Tea Party happen. You're seeing a similar vibe right here. This is important to understand as we go forward because this is a big deal because the left only knows how to attack organizations. They don't know how to attack individual choices. We talk about it all the time. Okay, enough setup. Let's get it. So here's the quote that I'm about to walk you through. I'm going to show you what happened and the leftist response and their next response because they are escalating. First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. Then you win. All right. Let me show you the first thing. This is an example of laughing at us. This is, of course, from Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. Watch this. This is important because it sets up that first point.
Go broke.
Yeah, take that inanimate object. Okay, you couldn't get the big one on the right side. Don't think we didn't see it. We saw it, okay? I'll tell you what, man, you go woke. I'm gonna buy a lot of your stuff, and then I'm gonna shoot it, okay? And I'll buy more of your stuff, and I'll do a giant ad for it, and then I'll shoot it again. And by the way, when I shoot it, that shows you. Those things are now shot. I win. Do you?
All right, so let's break down that arrogance condescension ball of wax. So the argument there is that you're clearly an idiot. If you buy something to shoot it as an act of protest, you're only contributing to the bottom line. Therefore, it's backfiring and you are funding the organization you are trying to destroy. The only issue with this is when you get this type of cultural rejection of a brand, yeah, they are kind of wrong as they're trying to mock you. For example, take a look at the stock market price, the billions of dollars in market value that Bud Light has lost. I've conveniently marked on there the woke inflection point. As you can see, that's quite precipitous. They're officially in a bear market. This isn't a boycott. This is a lifestyle change. I'm telling you, this is bigger than a boycott. But let me continue. Now that I've shown you that from back from 2022, Anheuser-Busch has lost a staggering $15.7 billion in value since Bud Light controversy began, as rivals add $3.2 billion to their value, and experts warn of a beer shortage. So they're going to have a beer shortage in your competitors. There's been a $3.2 billion infusion into your competitor's stock while you've lost $15 billion. Yeah, Cenk, for some reason, I don't think that $150 of Bud Light that was shot as a protest is really going to level that out. So keep going with that condescension, you silly person. But don't worry, Bud Light clearly heard you, and they doubled down. Check this out. Bud Light announces new initiative with that party. Business owners despite boycott and loss of sales. So they're just going to go ahead and do it anyway because, you know what, they've already committed. They're already pot committed. Oh, it's going to get so much worse. Anyway, let me continue here because we're not quite to the part where they start to attack you. So this is another example of a woke precipice that I've hit. This is Target's stock price. Yeah, that's the lowest it's been in over a year. Okay, well, that's kind of falling off of a cliff. Let me see how much the actual number is. Target losses swelled to $12.4 billion and shares are at lowest since 2020. Ooh, 3 years. I can't do math. 3 years. Okay, well, so far we're at about $28 billion loss for going woke. Yeah, that $150 investment really was a bad thing, Jake. Anyway, let's go back to the main quote because I'm tying this all together. First they ignored you, then they laughed at you. We covered that part. Then they fight you. Okay, well, let me show you what they're saying about people who are making choices of where they spend their money on MSNBC in relation to Target. Check this out.
Target caves into this, then it says that the moment you threaten the employees of even a very large corporation, you get to control its policies. This is economic terrorism, literally terrorism, creating fear among the workers and forcing the corporations to sell the things you want and not sell the things you don't. So
you mean demand. You mean corporate demand. You mean like a marketplace. Anyway, whatever. So that's just the first one. You're clearly an economic terrorist if you decide not to buy something that they want you to force you to buy. Keep going, please, Lord. The Second American Tea Party is here. Imagine this same fury going for anyone that infringes upon the Second Amendment. Again, this is only going to grow. This is a resistance to the woke system. This is not a resistance of boycotts. This is a lifestyle change. Trust me. Now, of course, it wouldn't be complete if Media Matters didn't go out and make something like this, where they compare the coverage of Target Pride backlash versus sexual abuse in the Illinois Catholic Church. So now they're going to contrast you not buying something at Target that you don't agree with to a profile or to a scandal at a Catholic church. They both involve children. They're both wrong. Let's just say no in both cases. How about we just put a little bubble around the whole children thing? But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, like, look how silly this is. You're just a moron because you don't even care. Okay? Then my last piece. This is Gavin Newsom. Listen to what Gav is saying. Let's take a moment to talk about this. There is a full-throated purge effort going on here by the far right that we have not seen in decades. They are trying to boycott binge and cancel crusade, trying to eliminate the existence of minority communities, burning flags, banning books. We have seen this before. Yeah, I call it at a leftist rally. Anyway, don't mean to get too political with it, but heck with it, whatever. The big point here is, you are awakening. The people across this nation are awakening, and they are resisting the woke culture. You cannot have something shoved down your throat from the corporations and then be forced to buy something. The left is responding in a way to where they are now attacking you because mocking you didn't work. They lost $30 billion. The reason the payoff on this is so crucial is as more corporations do this and say, oh, Target was a fluke and Bud Light was a fluke, the more reinforcements that occur, the more that corporations are going to walk away from this because at the end of the day, their stockholders, their shareholders, their CEOs, their board members, and their profit margins are more important than the woke agenda. And the second it gets more costly for them to endorse a woke agenda versus a normal agenda, they're going to abandon it no matter how much pressure the left attempts to apply. That's the important piece about all this. First, they're going to ignore you, then they're going to laugh at you, then they're going to attack you, and then you win. We are well on the road to winning. We will continue to do this. And as the Second Amendment becomes more of a popular thing in the United States, it's going to get worse and worse and worse as corporations go against the Second Amendment, and this exact same principle is adopted because momentum is changing. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.